Hey everyone, Pratiti Pathak here. Welcome to Unpacking Brain Drama, where we talk about real life experiences, the challenges, and the obstacles. Sometimes we use them to block ourselves, sometimes we use them to grow and evolve. Here's what I want to say: obstacles are not the things blocking our path, obstacles are the path. So, in other words, we have to grow through what we go through. So, join me as we have some amazing conversations with some amazing guests.
Let's talk about our brain on change. Why does our brain resist change so much? Like, why is it so hard for us to change a habit, right? When we think about our brain, it literally tries to control everything. And it does that by remembering everything that we do on a regular basis that doesn't kill us, right? It repeats it, it remembers it, it repeats it, it remembers it. And whatever we do over and over again, then it just becomes like automatic, right? We go on this autopilot, rinse and repeat cycle in that habit, in that area, right? And the good news is our brain is also designed not only to be efficient and love doing things automatically, but it is also designed, and we are the only species that our brain has this capability, is to actually think about what it's thinking about, right? It actually has the ability to look back and go like, here's what I'm thinking about. Why am I thinking about it this way? What am I thinking about, right? We have, I think, over 60,000 thoughts every single day, and most of them are repeated and unconscious thoughts. Like over 90% of them are repeated and unconscious thoughts. So when we think about making changes, it can create a lot of emotions for us. A lot of emotions will come up, right? And it feels very challenging. Most of those emotions are going to be feelings of discomfort, right? It might feel overwhelming, stressful, uncomfortable, anxious, might feel fear, right? Depressed, sad. And when we think about it, like why that these are the reasons that it's so hard. I mean, wouldn't it be great if we could just decide that we want to make changes and then just go do it, right? I want to lose weight. I'm just going to stop eating sugar. I'm just going to start eating flour. I'm just going to go to the gym more. And then boom, it's just done. We just do it. Unfortunately, it isn't designed that way, right? We are met with a lot of resistance from our brain. So it makes sense on why certain times that we're trying to achieve something, we are literally going up against the resistance of our own brain for wanting to make that change, right? Because our brain, and it's like three different sections, right? But when you think about your primitive brain or your reptile brain or your your unconscious, your repetitious brain, which is your amygdala, it likes to be efficient. It likes to keep you safe. That's its job, to make sure you don't die. So anytime we want to get up on stage and talk, anytime we want to do something that's different than what we're currently doing, our brain is like, wait, no, don't do it. We're safe right now. We don't want to do that. We could die. So it literally is resisting the change, even though the change might be really positive and something really good for us. It doesn't recognize it that way. It just only recognizes that we're doing something different than what we're used to doing. And that's what makes it a little more challenging, right? So if there was no resistance, then it would make things a lot easier. But what we do have the ability, like I said, is for our brain to actually think about what it thinks about. And what we have outside of that repetitious brain is the front part of our brain. It's our prefrontal cortex, which is the part of our brain that makes decisions. It's the logic part of our brain. It's the decision maker. It's the reason, right? It's the reasonable part of our brain where we make sense out of things and we can make decisions from that space. In the moment, we make it from our unconscious brain, one that just wants to be on autopilot. So most of the time, if we're trying to make a decision to stop eating in a certain way, if we decide intentionally ahead of time, schedule it, make our food protocol, make our meal plan, and then just stick to the plan, that's when we become successful. If we have to like think in the moment, there's donuts on the table, what should I do? Your brain's always going to say, eat the donut, right? So I'm trying to make this a little less complicated, but we have this rinse and repeat because we have something called neurons that fire together, right? They communicate with one another. So if we've always been doing it this way, we've heard the saying, what fires together wires together, it's this, right? Think about the neurons. They're communicating with each other. It's that little firing that they're doing. When you want to make a change, you have to intentionally be aware of what you're currently doing in order to kind of hit the brakes on it, stop it, and then decide on purpose, intentionally, to start firing in this direction. And that's how you kind of prune this. It's called synaptic pruning. It's where we prune this fire and wire, and we start reprogramming, rewiring in a different direction. And that's how a habit gets changed, right? We make a conscious decision to quit and restart something else, right? That's called neuroplasticity. Our brain actually has the ability to literally change shapes as we change and evolve and learn and grow in a certain way. So it's called cortical mapping. It's when our brain's firing this way, and then we remap it and go this way. It's kind of like when you're going to the grocery store and there's a detour. And then you now learned a new way, and you've decided to stop taking that other way and start going a new way, which our brain will remember that. Even though it stops it, it doesn't mean that the urge will go away to go in that direction, but it still remembers it. So for example, like if you move to a new house, did you ever find yourself driving back to the old house or driving back to the old job? It's because your brain was on autopilot going there. Now you have to make a decision to go left instead of right to the old house, now to the new one, or to the new job. Hope that makes sense. But so when we think of it that way, it's because our brain is designed to be efficient, right? They actually design electronics and they try to make new software to be as efficient as our brain, because our brain is designed to not only be efficient, but use the least amount of energy possible to function at the highest level. Now, this is really good to know, because when we're in habit mode, that when we're doing this automatic, that is when we are using the least amount of energy, and we're the most efficient in this area because we can do it without even thinking about it. Does anybody have a job that they're like, I could do this job in my sleep, right? I could drive there in my sleep. I know it like the back of my hand. It's because it's so memorized. It's so automatically. You don't have to think about it. It's very unconscious. Did you ever even just walk into a room and there's food on the table? You just start automatically eating. It's not because you're hungry. It's not because you need the food for fuel or energy. It's because it's an automatic reaction. See, eat. The thought automatically comes, I want that. And you just give into the urge. It's not even a recognizable urge anymore. It's so automatic. So it's kind of like when we learn how to walk, right? When we're learning how to walk, and I know this is probably, you know, an example that's used so much. We fall down, we get up, we fall down, we get up, we fall down, we get up. We keep doing it until it becomes automatic, right? We'll talk about that at another time when we're talking about failure and why it's an amazing thing to fail. But when we're learning something new, that's when we're using our prefrontal cortex. That's the time when we're learning how to ride a new bike, riding a bike. That's the time that you have to pay attention to your steering, right? You have to pay attention to your balance. You have to make sure you keep pedaling. But then once you get it, once you get in that flow, now you don't have to think about it anymore. Boom. Now it goes to the efficient, low energy, memorize, autopilot, rinse and repeat cycle. Now we no longer have to think about it. It just happens. This is really good to know, because when we think about changing a habit, we think it's so hard. But if we really take a look at it, all we really need to do is just practice the new habit. Now, I'm going to say that's a simple thing to say, maybe not that easy to do. Well, Prashidi, it's not that easy to just go to the gym every single day if you haven't been doing it. You're right, it's not. You have things that you want to accomplish, right? The goal isn't just to lose weight and be skinny or to stop overeating. The goal is longevity. The goal is health. The goal is to be in a pain-free body. Whatever that goal is, it's a long-term goal. So what's happening to you right now, it's not because you don't know, it's not because you have a problem with food. It's not because you have a problem with losing weight. What you have a problem with is staying in your own integrity, being committed to your reason long-term, right? What you have is something that you want in the moment, which is the food, the donut, the cupcake, whatever, the pasta, whatever it is, the wine. There's something you want right now, and there's something you want in the future. In the future, you want good health. In the future, you want to be in a great body. In the future, you want to be pain-free. You want to be free of disease and illness. But right now, I want this cookie. You see where the cognitive dissonance comes in? You're kind of arguing with the two things that you want. Sometimes we're acting as if somebody else wants the future goal for us, but it's not. It's something we want. So when I think about goals and making changes, here's the steps, right? Here's what it really boils down to. A few things. You have a goal. You have a reason for wanting to achieve the goal. And then you have your level of commitment to your reason for wanting to achieve the goal. All it comes down to is where you are on that level of commitment, right? And how good you are at obeying yourself and doing what you say you want to do, right? We'll commit to other people and we'll hold that commitment, but we let ourselves down every single day. So you think about it. This is why women can stop smoking or stop drinking when they're pregnant, right? Because their level of commitment to their reason for wanting to achieve that goal. I don't want to smoke right now. I'm pregnant. I'm having a baby, and the health of my baby is important to me. I don't want to drink right now because I'm pregnant. I'm having a baby, and the health of my baby is so important to me. So I'm willing to just stop instantly for this reason, my why. The why is so important. The why is your level of commitment to that reason. When the reason is so important, right? This is why people can try to quit smoking for years. I did smoke for 30 years, right? And then somebody will just get a diagnosis of cancer and they'll quit immediately. Why? Because their level of commitment to their reason for wanting to quit. They might have wanted to quit for many years, but now their level of commitment to that reason just went up 100%, 100-fold. So that's some of the things that we can really focus on, right? You don't, as James Clear says in Atomic Habits, you don't rise to the goal, you fall at the level of your strategy. So what is your daily practice to achieving the goal? It's the small incremental habits, daily practices that literally can change the whole trajectory of your life in a certain area of your life, whether it's your personal goals, whether it's your physical health, your mental, emotional health, your spiritual health, your business, your financial, your character, like it doesn't matter. Whatever it is you're trying to achieve, there's a shift that has to take place. We talk about mindset. We talk about getting rid of limiting beliefs and having a positive mindset, but we never really learn how to do it. This is how you do it. First, by understanding that our brain is designed for no change, right? It's working against you. So you have to be super aware. Creating more awareness around what you're currently thinking is the only way to decide whether you want to change how you're thinking. First, becoming aware of what am I thinking about this particular thing in this particular area of my life for this reason. What do I want to do with this? Do I like thinking this way? Is it in alignment with what I want to achieve in my life? Am I happy with the reason, or is it something that I want to change? And if so, why do I want to change it? What will change in my life? Who will I become in that process? And then decide how we're going to choose to think about it and what the actions are we're going to have to take in order to do it. And then it's just a matter of strategy, thinking about obstacles that are going to come up and creating strategies around it to make that shift, to make that change, to achieve that goal. If you want to do a little bit of a deeper dive with this, if that makes sense to you guys, hit me up, click the link, get on a call with me, and let's just have a conversation about what it is that's going on in your life. What are some of the areas that could use some changes? You can call them improvements. Like, here's where I'm doing really great in my life, and here's some things that I definitely know I want to do more in, or I want to up level. I want to scale my life in this area. And let's see what that even looks like. It can be a little challenging. It can be something that is amazing.
Thank you for listening to Unpacking Brain Drama podcast. You'll find links for all the things mentioned below in the show notes. And it would be incredibly awesome if you would take a quick moment to leave a review on iTunes or wherever you listen. If you'd like to be considered as a guest on our podcast, be sure to go to www.resultsbydesigncoaching.com for a free 30-minute coaching session. Thanks so much, guys. See you next time.